What if the question you've been afraid to ask yourself is the one that finally sets you free? Welcome to I Have Questions. That's where we're going to begin part 3 of my conversation with Mia Mason. Over the last 2 episodes, we've explored the courage it takes to turn something invisible into something the world can finally understand. Today, we kind of bring it all home. In this final part, Mia opens up about the curiosities that drive her art, the beliefs that have had to be unlearned, and the moment she realized she wasn't alone, that OCD did not make her broken, it made her human. We also talk about fear and bravery and what happens when you choose to do the thing that scares you away. And of course, I goad Mia into reading one of her poems, a moment that gives me goosebumps. So, shall we do it? This is part 3. Let's finish strong because
I have questions.
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 I'm plenty of the food that doesn't have questions, which I do.
I'm going to switch things up a little bit. I was going to really put you on the spot right now,
Let's
but
do
I'm
it.
going to wait. I'm going to wait for a minute. Okay.
Yes.
Just because. So, I have this part of my show where I call it Curious Questions. It's kind of the complete opposite of what we've been doing. This is one word answers, funny answers, sentence, paragraph, whatever floats your boat. I try my best not to interject, but that doesn't work so well because I have this amazing ability to talk. So you ready? Curious questions. Here we go. Mia Mason's favorite holiday.
Oh, it's Christmas.
Christmas. Nice.
I just like it.
That works. It's a good one to like.
Yep.
All right. A place where you absolutely need to visit in the next 10 years.
I think I want to go to Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah.
All right. So this is where I interject. Is there a family connection or is it just, I love Guinness.
I actually don't love Guinness.
That's all
but
good.
I have been watching the show Dairy Girls on Netflix, which is a show. It's an Irish show.
Okay.
And I don't know, that's been on the brain recently. And then my cousins, they are Irish. They just went and came back and said it was super cool. So
Yeah.
that's kind of been
Perfect.
there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you need to make that happen then.
Yeah.
All right. This one is a little out there. So
Okay.
now we're talking a time period, not a
Okay.
place.
Got
A
it.
time period in history or the future of the universe you would like to visit for one day.
Ooh. Okay, good. Let's see. I feel like I'd like to go. I think I'd like to go to the future for one day.
Okay.
I think I only want to go like 100 years forward, though.
Okay.
Just curiosity.
Yeah.
I don't want to go
Because
too.
it's close enough to see.
Yeah, because
I like that.
I miss a lot of there'd be a lot of gaps to fill in that
Yeah, there would be.
go too far ahead.
Yeah. One can only imagine, right?
Yeah.
Well, think about if you went back 100 years, think of the gaps
Yeah.
in that time frame, right?
Right.
So yeah, I like that reasoning. Very cool. All right. Favorite book you have ever read?
Oh, that's such a good question. I do have an answer for this.
Good.
It's a book called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. It's actually a graphic kind of novel with writing in it. It's not a kid's book really, but it's I think kids could read it. But it's a very it's a very inspiring kind of book, and they made a movie, like a short film for it.
Say the title one more time for me.
Long title, yes. It's called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse.
All right. There we go.
Yeah.
I generally ask that question so that I have a reading list.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah, and it's a good one. 'cause
I'm a
it's
poor reader, so I like to push my I'm starting to push myself a little better. All right,
well,
last one.
mhm.
The one food that makes you think of home.
Oh, that's I love this. It's, Italian wedding soup or,
Is that like minestrone?
not
Nope.
really, it's like a chicken-based soup. It's like a
Okay.
chicken soup, but it has, spinach in it and mini meatballs and pastina, like pasta.
Okay.
Um,
I will ask my brother-in-law who lives out in Norwalk, Connecticut, who's from Italy,
yes.
uh, what that is and to make some and send
Yes,
it out to me. So
definitely.
awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for that. So, um, your turn.
Okay,
The show is now yours.
okay.
Did I miss something? Is there anything you would like to add, or do you have a question for me? And by the way, after this, I do have one thing you have to do, but
Okay, beautiful.
yeah.
Um, let's see. I think I want to kinda add, like, to this, just a little bit, like, the book that I wrote, was a really kind of scary thing for me to do,
Mhm.
and I did it anyways, and I just kinda wanna say to, like, anybody who is afraid to do something, but they really wanna do it, you should do it because I think it's gonna bring a lot of more joy and kind of value to your life more so than that worry.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that for people. I also can only imagine that while writing the book, you probably didn't anticipate being interviewed by people that you have absolutely no idea who they are.
Yeah, it's been a cool thing though. It's been kinda
Yeah.
scary for me. It's been big exposures, but in a good way. And then
Awesome.
yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Awesome. Uh, wow, you want 2 things. Wow,
Is
greedy.
there like a one thing? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was
Well,
one
no, I'm
thing.
kidding. Yes, you can ask me a question.
Oh, okay, cool. What made you wanna be a teacher?
I really don't know. It's something I always kinda wanted to do a little bit, but I never did, and so I actually was in my late 30s before I became a teacher, and, uh, when I first decided to do it, I actually went to work in a public school as an educational assistant. 1, to get a job, that paid basically nothing, so that was cool. My wife was thrilled to death with me about that one. But 2, to see if I actually could do it or like it even, to be in it, and I wasn't there a week, and I'm like, "Yep, this is it." And I immediately went back to school and got my master's in math and became a teacher, and part of it, in retrospect, is I was I was a perfectly capable student. I was, and I always thank my lucky stars. I went to a very, very small rural school. There were 16 kids in my graduating class. So when I
Wow.
say small, I mean
Yeah.
small. But because it was small, all the teachers, they were all neighbors and they were all friends of family and that whole thing. And without them sort of looking out for me, I would have never made it through school. And again, more than capable, like
Mhm.
more than capable. And I think that always stuck with me. And so when I wanted to be a teacher, I kind of wanted to fill that gap in a bigger school system, which is where I worked, and help all kids, and especially those that I saw were like me. And so then I did that and instantly loved it. Like, thank goodness that fell in my lap that way. And it was a heck of a road to get there,
That's
but
really
it
mhm.
was it was worth traveling. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And anytime you can help people,
I agree, yeah.
it makes the road much easier to stomach.
I
So
agree.
yeah. All right, Mia Mason, before I cut you loose,
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot and ask if you would read one of your poems for me and my listeners. I I I always I find poetry so interesting. I find it super hard to read because I always put it in my voice and my background. And then when you hear people read their own stuff, you 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 get it. You get the inflection and the whole thing. So yes, I if you would be so kind as to pick one of your poems in the book and read it for everybody.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. This will be
All
fun.
right, let's do it.
Okay, cool. All right. Infected with a question. When I wake up to the sound of my alarm, my first thought almost always is, does my throat hurt? I swallow to see. It's a little scratchy. I swallow again and I trace the pain that runs down the left side of my throat with my finger. It hurts. Panic sets in. I become infected with a question. Why is where it all begins. Allergies, virus, infection, something more serious, cancer, a mystery illness with no cure. I ignore unopened messages from my friends asking if I'm coming today. I urgently need answers from search engines to see if there's any mentions of when I'll be dead. My search history reads like a medical journal. I click the same purple links that I always reread just in case I miss something. I read and reread the phrase, the most common cause, but I need to know the cause. I swallow again. And this time it really hurts. I start to sweat. Do I have a fever? Search. What is considered a fever? Typical body temperature is 98.6, but varies slightly. Can no one give me a straight answer? I don't need to read anymore. Now I need to act. I take my temperature again and again, and as if my memory is being wiped clean in between each beep. Why don't I believe what the numbers read? I feel the tears start to well up as the familiar sensation of frustration. You would think it would get boring. The same old story. The question why must be a viral infection, because it seems that my brain has no immunity to this question.
So in the world of meant to be, I kid you not, you'll never be able to see it, but nope, you can't see it.
No,
That's the exact poem I have
no,
pulled up on my phone.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that's so crazy.
yeah. All right. So now that I do have goosebumps, uh, that was the one I had pulled up. If you had fought me on it, I was actually going to say, could you read infected with a
That's
question?
awesome. That was
All
cool. We
right.
did,
I think on that note, we better close up shop
yeah,
because that's a little too meant to
yeah.
be right there.
Well, yeah,
Mia Mason, I am so glad you chose to share your story and your book with me and my listeners. Again, troops, it's called Worries Whispers, and the worries is apostrophe S,
yeah.
and you can easily get it on Amazon. It's right there. Mia, I hope you have a great rest of your day and good luck. And when you release your second book, I will be there to have you back on.
Thank you so much. And thanks so much for having me. This has been great.
Awesome. Thank you, Mia. And that brings us to the end of this incredible three-part conversation with Mia Mason, author of Worries Whispers. You can find it on Amazon. And her journey through diagnosis and creativity and vulnerability and the quiet power of telling the truth about your own mind. Across these episodes, Mia has showed us what it means to finally have language for something you've carried your whole life, what it means to create art that helps people feel seen, and what it means to choose courage and curiosity even when fear is loud. Worries Whispers isn't just a book. It's an invitation to understand OCD from the inside, to recognize the humanity behind a disorder. And to remember that none of us are as alone as we think. If this series has resonated with you, please subscribe, like, and share. It's free. It helps more people find my conversations, and it helps this community continue to grow and be curious and ask questions. As always, thanks for listening, and stay curious and keep asking those questions. P.S. Before we, wrap up today, I want to take you back to a time when England was on the very edge of a transformation, not because of steam engines or railways, but because of something far quieter. It's actually canals. In the late 1700s, long before highways carved across the country, long before railroads, England built a network of very narrow waterways that stitched together coal mines and factories and growing cities. These canals were engineering marvels of their time, dug largely by hand, mile after mile. The laborers, known as navvies, men who carved the industrial world with shovels and sweat and sheer endurance. The boats that traveled these waterways were deliberately slim, just 7 feet wide. Imagine that, 7 feet, because they had to build locks, and the locks themselves were narrow. And they were narrow because every extra foot meant more digging, more stone, and yes, more money. The entire transportation system and the lives of the families who lived aboard these boats were shaped by the economics of the 18th century. For decades, these canals were the arteries of the Industrial Revolution. Coal to the factories, pottery to the stoke, iron from the Midlands, all of it moving at a gentle walking pace, pulled by horses along pathways that still exist today. And then the railways came, faster, louder, more powerful, and the canals fell quiet. But that's the part that sparks curiosity. Those narrow canals, they never really disappeared. They just simply shifted roles from industrial lifelessness to places of stillness. Today, you can walk beside them and hear the soft churn of a narrowboat passing under a stone bridge built 2 centuries ago. You can watch reflections ripple across brick warehouses that once fueled an empire. It's history you can touch. It's history that floats. It's history that moves slowly enough for you to walk beside it. So as you step away from this episode, carry this with you. What parts of your life were built for speed? And what might you rediscover if you allowed yourself to move at a canal pace for a while? Because those narrow canals remind us that even the engines of progress can become places of peace if we're willing to slow down long enough to notice. Peace, love, are.